The goal of this video is to understand the structure of XML data, Extensible Markup Language is what it stands for. And it's also useful to understand what XML data is all about, what it's used for. Although it's very similar to HTML, and if you've seen HTML, you'll notice the differences, it has a very different purpose, which is more like JSON. We saw JSON yesterday, and we learned that JSON data is useful for transporting or data across the web and moving data from clients to servers and from among different websites and web services. So XML has a similar purpose. HTML is really designed to display data, and XML has what are called predefined tags, and we're going to see what tags look like in a minute. In XML, we actually define the tags that we use. So I'm going to scroll down to this representation, this view here that I made for some data that is XML data, and we're going to notice the structure. So every XML data structure has what's called a root element, and that's kind of the thing that wraps all the rest of the data. So in our case here, we have a root element called bookstore. Within the bookstore, we have other elements, and they're what are called, they're nested, which means that as we go through, as we jump from one level to another, so if I jump from bookstore to the next level, which is book, to the next level, which contains title, authors, and in this case, remark, we categorize our information with more and more specificity. So it can be helpful to see this in a different view where it actually looks like a tree. So the root is our bookstore, and then from here we have branches coming off of that. So in our case, we have the 2 books, and then the books have branches coming off of them. The first book has a title and authors. The second book has some additional information, title, remarks, and authors. And then each author's element has author, singular. And each author has a first name and a last name. Within those, so these are called the leaves of the tree, the first name and last name, because they're the ends of the tree branches. There's nothing more, there are no more branches off of this. This is where we find the data. And traversing or traveling through an XML tree involves generally trying to get to that text, that data that is held in the leaves. So hopefully this representation is clear, and you can see the idea of nesting. One more thing to talk about is attributes. So attributes are things that describe an element. So for example, I have an ISBN number, a price, and a weight. All of those are attributes that describe a book. And we may not be listing all of the possible attributes, but we should know that they're held within these kind of arrow brackets. Okay, I think that's a good overview. The next video is going to look at a Python library that's going to help us travel through XML data.